This is a disclaimer. Hello, this video is made for the people that didn't read the book and for people that read the book and can respect other people who didn't read the book. If you read the book and came here to write some spoilers, with all due respect and with all of the love in my heart, please know
I'm gonna kill you.
Hello everyone and welcome to Geek Anime channel. I'm your detective host Igor and today we're going to deep dive into Silo Season 2 Episode 1. Now I know I'm a little bit late for the party. The episode was aired on the Friday and it's been a couple of days already. But I took the time to rewatch the episode a couple of times and I think I found some interesting details for you. If you're new to this channel, here we are watching movies and TV shows and we're not just watching them, we are watching them, which means we're trying to find every detail, and it doesn't have to be very important detail to understand everything about the show and reveal all of the secrets. Sometimes it could be a small Easter egg, it could be a small detail that makes this world that we are seeing on the screen more alive and way more interesting, and it kind of gives a little respect to the creators who put their time and effort to create this world for us as detailed as possible. Now before we begin, as usual, I want to thank everyone who supports me on Patreon and on YouTube. Your donations is what make this channel possible. And I'm so happy to welcome a new member, Tony Pool. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Thank you so much for your support and I welcome you in our small community. Now let's dive in. If you're familiar with my From reviews, for example, I usually go through the whole storyline of an episode and we're doing a small recap of everything. I didn't want to do this for this episode specifically because this episode was more of a survivor, barely any dialogues, barely any conversation, just some flashbacks with Juliet while she was younger, and it's a lot of MacGyvering some shit there to basically save yourself. But there were some interesting details that I want to go through with you. Some of them I have kind of clue about them, like what do they mean, and some of them I just want to keep in mind for future episodes. Now the first thing that I kind of noticed that this silo, the one that has the mutiny in the beginning of the episode, even though it's built almost the same way like the silo we have seen in season 1, it's way more colorful. Like every time we're at some kind of a, floor or something like this, there's a lot of drawings. They all remind me a little bit of Native American, Mexican culture combined. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's kind of made me notice. Now when this guy, this small kid, is running through, the symbol of the creators, the founders, and we can see that thank you founders was changed to fuck you founders, and we see the truth now, even though it's not the same like we have seen on the badge of the sheriff in the previous season. It's kind of reminded me this moment because we can see here that R and U here are kind of smaller than the T's and H, so maybe just something similar to that, but obviously there's no connection, just some tiny moment that I kind of noticed. Now another interesting thing here is that we can see that the generator will flood in 15 minutes. This is the message that the kid is giving the sheriff, the one who's leading the rebellion in this silo. I don't know if this is something deliberate, like the engineering decided like they gonna flood the generator, or they were just trying to do some repairs and the generator will flood because they didn't succeed, and this is why they have to attack. I think that the second choice is more likable here. Now if you remember in season 1 with the whole action sequence when they were trying to fix the generator and like when Juliet was leaving to become the sheriff, they were talking about a steam that's coming from the underground and they didn't know where is it coming from, like what is the source of this steam. Now maybe this flood that was created here, that was started here, somehow also moved, transferred also to the neighboring silos, and we can actually gonna see some more details about it. And yeah, we can see like the 5 bells, the attack. Not gonna stay too much on that. I just noticed that obviously I'm pretty sure this is the janitors, the cleaners, the one that have all the power in the silo, because they are the ones who are controlling the screens. And we can also learn that this is the IT floor. So this is the floor with the servers, this is the floor that has all of the control for the silo. And this is usually the floor probably where there is someone who knows exactly what's happening. Just like, you know, Bernard, the Team Robbins guy from season 1, who was the leader of IT, was actually the guy who has some kind of a connection with forces that are responsible for all the silos as far as we understand from the ending of season 1. Here we also probably have some kind of a Bernard. Now, when they're talking about attack, like another interesting thing that I kind of noticed, this is not just, you know, the group of the bad guys, that the good guys, the rebellion, are attacking. We can see some innocent girl here is also hiding, she's really scared. So it's not like only bad versus good here. Now, what's interesting once again here, the clothes, look at his clothes again. Now, those kind of sleeves, very colorful once again, interesting drawings, I would call them. It's not something that I'm used to see from Silo that we have seen in season 1. It's a little bit different, it has some kind of a culture behind it, and we're actually gonna see more of that in next scenes. Now here we can see that he's talking about Russell. Russell is obviously somebody who is important, like take Russell alive, understood, we need Russell. So once again, like the most logical conclusion here is that Russell is probably the Bernard of this place, the head of the IT. So when they attack, we can see that, you know, the bad guys, the janitors, the one who are like trying to protect themselves, they have guns, and the rebellion doesn't have any guns except of the sheriff, of course. He has a gun here, so they succeed. And this moment I have a question about it. I hope I'm gonna get answers because I really like this line. I love this actor, he was great at this role. I hope we're gonna get more of that. So he's saying about my hand slipped, I didn't mean to, I don't understand what he's talking about. Maybe I missed something even though I watched this episode already 3 times. So I don't know, like, what is he talking about? You guys and girls have any idea? I would love to read your comments about it. Now here he's asking a question like, why wouldn't he open the door? Now when he's saying he, I assume he's talking about the same Russell. And we're gonna see also that somebody is in the end of this episode is not opening the door. And here she, you know, the wife, saying to him like he was told not to. Now once again, if the conversation here is about Russell, and if you remember the end of season 1 where Bernard seeing Juliet not dying and he understands that she's not gonna die and she's gonna discover all the secrets, he is running to the server room, he opens it up with his 18 numbered key and then he screams, she knows. So he is communicating with someone who is probably like in control of the whole silo operation. If this is the same case and they, here the sheriff and his wife, know about it, so probably Russell have the same connection with somebody else, and this somebody else who controls all of the silo operation told Russell not to open the door. And this is where he asked like, do you think Russell was lying? So probably once again we can assume that the whole rebellion started with Russell delivering them the truth. Quotation marks, because it's not really truth, it's the same truth that Juliet discovered, that it's all green and beautiful outside, but it's actually a lie to, I don't know, to create rebellion, to do something like, you know, to weed out the seed, weed out the rebellious seed in people, to give them a reason to rebel, and from time to time to clean up the population. Like, I don't know what is their goal, but in this silo, it was not, you know, Juliet's lover, it was Russell who actually gave them information about it. At least I assume it that way. So when they opened the door, like they connected the electricity and this door opens up, like they have 2 big metallic doors, they all leave and they go like freedom, you know, they're cosplaying William Wallace and Mel Gibson here, so they're running around like yeah with the flag, and then we see the sheriff already completely decomposed with a flag. And I'm pretty sure I'm already on FBI watch list because I was googling how long it takes for a body to decompose until there's only bones left. Not something that I thought I ever will Google or will research, because you see, my first impression was it's probably been like decades, hundreds of years already passed from this rebellion, because we remember in season 1 in 18 silo number 18, the rebellion was 140 years ago. So it kind of made sense that maybe rebellion is being started in the same time period for every silo. But it's probably not. Actually, there's a lot of that's gonna happen in this episode that's gonna make me think it's been just a couple of years, maybe 5, maybe 6, maybe 10, maybe even 15, but it's not a lifetime since this rebellion happened. Now this kind of devastating, heartbreaking moment. We remember the wife and the kid, you know, the wife of the sheriff and their kid, they're laying here right next to the sheriff, they're hugging, you know, the woman skeleton with the baby, with the child skeleton. I mean, in their last moments, she was hugging her baby, trying to save him, somehow protect him from imminent death. I mean, like 1 second and you can see already such a heartbreaking moment. I don't know if this is something that deserves praise because it doesn't bring, you know, good emotions in you, but it's also, yeah, it kind of deserves praise when you can create so much of emotion, so much of a tragedy in just a couple of seconds of screen time. So yeah, we can see here that this, like this here, this is probably the silo that we have seen in season 1, like Juliet's silo, and this is the new silo that she just reached. Like, she wouldn't just walk around from silo to silo. At least it wasn't implied in the way this show is being edited. Now if you remember, Juliet's boyfriend George, he found that there is a tunnel, a big tunnel in the lowest levels of the silo. Now in this original silo, in the OG silo, it's been covered with water. Now a friend of mine suggested it's, once again, this is the water that's been started here in this new silo, and somehow through this tunnel it reached also our OG silo. But if you think about it, it makes sense. Like, Juliet is gonna lose her costume, you know, the going out costume in this episode. There is no way for her to actually come back unless she will find other way. Now there's only other way here is the tunnel that we talked about, so she will probably find it, and this is how she will come back to the OG silo. Now here we can see that those people, you know, they were expecting that they're going, you know, for a better life, for freedom, and they discovered death. So they were running back home, running back, trying to save themselves, and somebody was closing the door. Now, interesting thing here is basically when I was watching season 1, I was pretty sure that what kills people when they go out is, you know, the gas, the air that has been released on them when they leave. But we've seen those people, the rebellion, they just went out and they all died. So still there's something probably in the air, or I don't know, in the atmosphere, some kind of virus, something, I don't know, whatever, radiation, I have no idea, no clue, but this is something that kills them. Now what's interesting here, I can understand why there's people here, but I don't really understand why people are here. Maybe they were just trying to run away, not coming back to the silo at any cost, but just, you know, trying to escape their fate. And yeah, somebody was trying to close the door. Now we have seen the episode, we already know that there is this someone, but we still don't know who that is, and I have an idea who that is. And we can see like she's opening this door that was opened with the help of electricity in the scene with the rebellion. So once again, there was somebody who operated the whole silo infrastructure, knows exactly how to shut the doors, how to open them up from distance apparently, and this is why Juliet needs to open this door using a lever. Now here we can see some signs of a rebellion, like people are writing lies on the screen. Now one of the biggest questions we have so far is, once again, if everything outside is really bad, why do you need the fake outside, the beautiful green fake, whatever, and why do you also have the bad fake outside? Like, we have seen already, like, the screen is not really exactly showing what is happening around the silo. It shows two different variations. You have the bad atmosphere and you have the good vibes with the nature and birds flying and so on. Now here, I know that some people had question about why she's like pouring water or whatever liquid is on her suit. This is something that's called decontamination, and I hope I pronounced it correctly. So basically, like, if you've been in a dangerous zone and there is something that can kill you outside and you don't exactly know what it is, you usually put liquid on your suit, on everything. You need to wash everything. You need to wash every germ, every virus, every possible dangerous thing that can be on your costume. Now, usually, like in good science labs, there is a special liquid for that. Juliet doesn't have this option, so whatever she found, she uses it on her costume. Now she needs to escape it because it's been broken, so she doesn't have enough air in the costume, so she gets out. And once again, as I told you, it's a very colorful silo, and here in the room we can see like some kind of a hippie elements here, you know, it looks a lot like, once again, I can imagine somebody's laying around like smoking something and listening to some reggae music or something like this. So whose room is that? Now logic would tell me that Juliet would probably go to the same room where she used to live in the OG silo, like, because I don't know, this is how human psychology usually works. We're looking for something familiar, but it doesn't look like a sheriff's office or sheriff's room. So here she understands, like, once again, this is the same silo, same cameras, same techniques of control. And here in this moment, it's just a small tiny detail, but this is way before she started to, you know, building her own bridge. The camera kind of focused on this, you know, whatever this structure is. It's usually being used to, you know, like paint something on the walls, you know, to actually get higher. And the camera kind of focused on it for a couple of seconds just to let us know it's gonna be important, and it was. So here we have the flashback scene, and we can see here Shirley.
And don't call me Shirley.
Sorry, Shirley here with Juliet, and they're talking about, like, you know, working in shifts in here in the mechanical, and they're doing the recycling, and we can see that they're finding the same radio that Walker is gonna use in the future. We've seen it in season 1. She was talking to Juliet through this radio, and we know that Juliet is gonna fix it. Now here, a very beautiful shot, just something, you know, completely beautiful to see. Everything is dead, but some lights are still operating, and there's also water there. So once again, it's kinda gives you maybe a possibility for somebody to survive here. It doesn't matter how many canned food you have, you're still gonna need some kind of a source of water. So if there is still water here, people can survive here. And when we move forward, we can see once again the magnifying glass. It kind of, once again, I like this small tiny Easter egg. Then it showed us, you know, using magnifying glass. Just to remind you, it is forbidden in the silo to use and operate a strong magnifying glass. You can use this kind, but if you're like making two of them together to amplify it a lot, this is for some reason illegal, and we still don't know what is the reason, but we're gonna watch this season and hopefully get some answers. As I told you, like, Juliet is gonna fix the radio, and we have also a little bit like a lore culture thingy that's kinda, once again, gonna be important in the later parts of these episodes. When Walker is talking to Juliet, she explains her what is the cultural behavior for the engineering levels. There's absolutely no beating around the bush here. Like, you say the truth. Like, if your mother killed yourself, you say my mom killed myself. If something bad happened, you just say it. There's no like, oh my god, she was whatever. Now another interesting detail here is, if you remember in season 1, Walker is not walking anymore. She cannot leave the room, and here she tells a story like she was sick, and then she woke up and she went out because she needed to hear some people. So while Juliet was this age, Walker was still brave enough to leave the room. Here we can see that Juliet is trying to make up with Shirley.
And don't call me Shirley.
I'm sorry, Shirley, and this is just me saying, not something objective, this is not an observation, this is just my reflection on things. I so enjoy this girl's acting. Like, she's obviously underage and she's already performing way better than a lot of actors I've seen on screen. She has this internal sadness of somebody who lost a lot, and even when she is smiling, the way she holds herself, the way she presents herself, it has a lot of, you know, like the pain of somebody who lost a mother, who is completely alone on this world right now, even though she has friends. But, you know, once again, it's not a great fate that Juliet is having in this place. The girl is completely amazing, 100% delivery. I believed in every second when she was acting. So once again, I told you, like, this lore, this explanation of their culture is something that we're seeing pretty fast. Like, when she's trying to make up, and Shirley here is not really accepting that the guy, I don't know if it's her father or whatever, he's like, she is trying to make up. Take the toy and move on. There's like no beating around the bush, there's no like eyes, looks or whatever, there's no like, let's talk together, let's go outside, you know, let's take this conversation to some place and I'm gonna explain you see Juliet, she lost a lot, and this is the way she tries to make up. No, she wants to make up, take the toy, move on. It's like really engineering level of culture communication, and I enjoy it. And then we have like Juliet, you know, I'm gonna skip over all her trying to do some Tarzan shit there, you know, with the rope, and she's falling down to the water. There's a lot of water, we talked about it. There is a good chance this water somehow, you know, also moved to the neighboring silo, to the silo 18, and this is the way, hopefully this is the way that Juliet is gonna come back. And here we can see, as I told you, this is the IT level, this is where Russell resides. Now if it's been just only a couple of years, even if it's been like 20 years, and there was somebody who was not opening the door, and this is someone who was probably Russell, and if he was alone there, he wouldn't be able to reproduce. I know it's a science fiction, but it's not something that can be somehow, you know, like, you cannot escape having a man and a woman doing something in order to reproduce here. So there is only one person that can be alive here, and I think it's the same Russell that's been talked about in the beginning of the episode. Once again, another interesting flashback. Now look, when they're going to the same level with Juliet and George were, you know, having their love shed, here we can see some kind of names, like we can see here like Paul, and we see like Sven or Juliet or Matthew, Maron, whatever. We have something that it's written here like the finger off. I don't understand what it is, but there's also a drawing of an eye, and there is a symbol of a hand that's holding either it's a hammer or some kind of working tool. Now Shirley is saying that this is something that's been drawn here before the rebellion. So it's probably something that was made by people that were maybe operating this machine, that dig the hole for the silo, then this is what's been left of them, this is their names. Now I cannot make sense of the sentence, the finger off, whatever it means, or the symbol. I tried to research this symbol. There is no symbol like that in any ideology as far as I'm concerned, but I can be proven mistaken, so if you know something like this, please let me know. As far as my Google ChatGPT research brought me, it's only, you know, some kind of stock images for if you want to open some workshop or something like this. You can use it as a logo. Yeah, so here once again we can see like a big already hand, already the size of a human, and it's holding a wrench. So yeah, some kind of a symbol, so maybe, I don't know, maybe the workers, maybe their guild, whatever it is. But once again, it's something to keep in mind for the future episodes. Maybe it's gonna come back. Now this moment I really enjoyed because I love those subtle metaphors, and like when Shirley here is telling Juliet the story how she was abandoned in a complete dark, and she went really slowly because she didn't have any choice, and Juliet is saying I couldn't do that. And then she says to her like, what else are you gonna do, die? And then we transfer right away to Juliet, and this is exactly what she's doing. She's starting to move slowly, step by step, because what else she can do? She heard some kind of a metallic noise in the IT level. This is where the rebellion happened, this is where they attacked, this is where was the last holding stand of, you know, the government or whatever the rebellion was against. And Juliet needs to get there because this is her only chance to get some kind of a communication. So she uses this structure that it's been used for, usually, you know, like that, as I told you, drawing something on the walls. We can see the same symbol of a human that is being used obviously in every silo, you know, like the arms like that, legs like that. Usually they like form some sort of a circle here. And once again, I'm not gonna just recap on everything she did because it's just stupid. Watch the episode. Here, when she already like went to the other side, we can see that there is something written on the wall, and it's probably, what are you hiding, Russell? So once again, why he wouldn't open the door? Probably Russell. We need Russell alive. Russell is the one who's holding all the keys. He's the one who's holding all the answers. But what do you mean, and when I say you, I mean the sheriff of the rebellion, when you say, what if Russell lied? It kind of feels like Russell was some sort of an ally. He was the one providing them information. Now here, when we move, we can see that the whole metallic noise that she was hearing, it was just key, you know, on the fan, and it's probably going to be maybe important somehow. Now, this is not something that the rebellion left after they left this place. Left after left. Whatever. Like, it's not, think logically. You don't go with a flag towards the outside, towards the place where there's gonna be a new life, and you're like screaming freedom, and then somebody's like, hey guys, you remember we have to leave the key on the fan so it will make the metallic sounds. It is a bait. It was made by somebody who lives in this place, and it was made specifically so somebody will be lured to this sound. Once again, this somebody is the crazy guy in the end of the episode. This is at least my suggestion, but this key is probably gonna be somehow important. And here I just want to call bullshit. I'm sorry. I know every episode, every TV show, every movie requires a little bit of a suspension of disbelief. Like, we watch it and sometimes things that are happening on the screen, they're not realistic. And if you don't have any suspension of disbelief, you're not going to be able to watch anything, because every TV show, every movie requires it. But sometimes, like, I can't believe Juliet, pushing this big thing that probably weighs more than 100 kilos. It's completely logical. Once again, there's enough force to push it and to drop it on those barrels. But there's no way in hell she would be able then to lift it and to put it, directly, beautifully on the barrel, so they will be 100% straight. Now, even when I'm criticizing this moment, like, I don't believe that this is what happened, I still admire the whole attention to details. Like, I like this moment that she put a lot of like sandbags, and she even jumped herself on the other side of this structure to make it as straight as possible when the barrels are falling. So she tried to make it as fast as possible, and she also put some weight there, so eventually it will, like, become a bridge. Now, you see here, my suspension of disbelief works, but for somebody who understands the laws of physics and probably can be like, what, with this speed and this kind of force, there is no way in hell this bridge would stay in, like, completely straight until it falls down. For this person, the suspension of disbelief in these topics are way more drastic than for me. But I enjoy this moment. And yeah, we can hear suddenly the Moon River playing. Now, once again, thank you to my friend on the channel Twister's Corner. I never seen Breakfast at Tiffany's. I obviously googled this song, I read about this song, but I never seen the movie. But he told in his review that in this movie, the heroine of this movie, Audrey Hepburn, uses this song to lure the character, the other character, the guy character, whatever. And here, this song is used to lure somebody, Juliet. Obviously, he heard that somebody is making noise, the crazy guy who is hiding behind the door. And this crazy guy, if you didn't get my drift so far, it's, in my opinion, obviously Russell. And now he's using the same song, which is obviously a relic. It is obviously way before the silo, so it's illegal, some sort, but he's using it to lure Juliet. And when she's coming to his room, we can see some writing here. It's written, "Any survivors, please help us. Please help survivors on," and the number here, or whatever it's written here, I don't understand. It can be 12, it can be 17, it can be 72. Now, if it's 72, it doesn't make any sense, because, the silo 18, neighboring silo would probably be 17 or 16, or, 20, but not like 72. So it can be 17, it can be maybe something else, I don't know exactly what it is, but there were people here trapped probably with Russell that wanted to escape, that maybe were able to run fast enough, to hide once again in the silo. But as far as we're concerned from this episode, the only survivor who is left, this is the Russell guy. Now here we can see this is the main room, the server's room. You can see the big fans. This has obviously been used to make the room colder, because, servers need a very low temperature in the room. And if you remember, once again, season 1, this is probably the room where you can do whatever you want with the silo. This is where you can turn on things, you can turn off the doors, you can open them up, you can close them up, whatever you want to do. This is the control room. And the person who is hiding here, he is the crazy one, obviously. I mean, if you would live in this place by yourself for a couple of years, or maybe even for a couple of decades, you probably would lose a couple of brain cells too. Now, he not only have crazy eyes, but he also have a sentence here written, it's written sooner or later, and we will get you. So once again, this works with my theory that this is Russell, because you remember Sheriff was asking, why would he open the door? So it looks like they spent a lot of time here between the fight and between them leaving the, this place for the freedom. There were probably a couple of days at least where they tried to get reach of Russell, they tried to get in, and they were frustrated. So they left a message like, we will get you sooner or later. So yeah, here we have somebody who has heterochromia. Thank you so much for this TV show, because I hadn't any clue that there's some kind of a, You know, it's not a disease, but some people are born that way. Some people you can cause that their eyes, like one eye one color and the other eye different color. Does it mean anything? I was looking for something to connect to the lore of this place. No, maybe they will invent something like this is because you were using too much, you know, like you're gonna do something when you're a teenager boy, there's hair is gonna grow on your palm. And if you're gonna, you know, like use too many servers in the silo, then you're gonna have your eyes being different color. Each eye have a different color. What I love about TV shows like Silo, From, and Severance and so on, the TV shows that have some kind of a mystery behind them that allows us, you know, the viewers of the TV show, the people that enjoy this process, to research and try to find something that can be useful, and in the process you learn something new. I enjoy it a lot, and I hope you enjoy it while you're watching my videos to get some new information. As useless as it can be, obviously it's not gonna be helpful in making money or, you know, like building a family or something like this, but you know, we're just a little bit smarter than we used to be a couple of minutes ago. And I'm happy about it. Now, thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully the next review is gonna be sooner. If the episode is gonna be released at Friday, hopefully Saturday, Sunday, I'm gonna make a review for you. Probably not Sunday, this is still reserved for the From season finale, but hopefully Sunday there's gonna be a video. Now, once again, thank you so much for watching this video. You can support this channel in any way that is comfortable to you. If you don't want to support it, just watching this video until this moment is the biggest success for me. I make those videos for you to watch them, not to like them. You can like them, but this is just a bonus. The biggest success for me is you watching and enjoying, hopefully, those videos. And I'm gonna see you on the next one. Bye!